In my last video, I walked you through how high-impact leaders define their leadership principles. If you missed it, go check it out, right? What I'm talking about here is the standards that guide decisions, coaching, and hard conversations. What I want to do today is I want to bring that framework to life. I want to share some real examples. These aren't theoretical principles. They came directly from the leaders inside my leadership program after they did the work to get clear on what actually drives success on their team. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share 3 leadership principle examples, not so you can copy them, but so you can see how the principles show up when they're done right. Let's dive in. Before I share the specific examples, one thing really matters. There's no universal list of leadership principles. What matters isn't the words, it's the standards they reinforce. It's the behaviors that they shape. So I want you to listen for how the principles I'm about to share guide decisions, coaching, and tough conversations, not just what they're called. Let's start with the first one that I've been pulling out here. Principle number 1 that I want to share with you is be the ultimate opportunist, right? This one, when we talked about it in my leadership program, sparked a lot of conversation. On the surface, it sounds like optimism, but this wasn't about being blindly positive. Be the ultimate opportunist. That meant seeing challenges as opportunities, looking for an advantage instead of blame, choosing to respond versus react. In practice, this leadership principle showed up most when things didn't go as planned, right? So think about it for a second. Instead of saying, here's what went wrong, you can use this to shift the conversation to, here's what's the opportunity here. That single standard for that leader changed the tone of his meetings, problem solving that he had to go through, and feedback he had to collect from his team. It didn't eliminate problems, it eliminated victim thinking, and that's what made it powerful. This principle gave leaders on his team a way to coach others without lecturing and to keep momentum when the pressure was high. Principle number 2, discernment. Calm, focused, and decisive. This one deserves some attention, right? Because discernment is often misunderstood. Discernment isn't hesitation. It's composed judgment under pressure. And here's how one leader defined it. Keep your emotions in check and remain level-headed. Prioritize and focus on what matters most. Be willing to make difficult but right decisions. For him, this principle became a decision filter. When emotions started to get high, leaders on his team asked, what actually matters here? Pretty good question, right? When trade-offs appeared, his team asked, what's the right decision, not the easy one? See what I'm saying here, right? Discernment created space to think before responding. That space led to better decisions. It led to stronger trust, and it led to fewer regrets. This wasn't about slowing down. It's about learning how to make choices, better choices. Okay, the third principle I want to share with you, protect what matters. This one surprised some people, but it shouldn't. Several leaders defined a non-negotiable around protecting time, energy, and focus, not as a perk, but as a leadership responsibility. That meant safeguarding deep work, being intentional with meetings, creating space for connection and recovery. See, this principle gave leaders permission to say no and a standard to point back to. Instead of, I just feel like this is just way too much. The conversation shifted and became, does this align with what we're committed to protect? Feel that difference? That's leadership maturity. Because what you protect signals what you value. Now, here's the through line across all 3 of those examples I just shared with you. None of these leadership principles are generic. They're behavioral standards. They guide decisions, coaching, and how leaders show up when things get hard. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. See, leadership's principles aren't about control. They're about clarity. And clarity is what allows leaders and teams to scale. If you haven't watched the first video in this 2-part series yet, start there. That's where I break down how to define your principles that actually work for your leadership style and for your specific team. If you want to do this work in a deeper way, this is exactly what we build inside our Self 2.0 leadership program. Follow the link below and book an exploratory call, and we can discuss how you or your team can join our next session. If you're ready to to elevate your leadership brand, influence, and impact, I've got something for you. I want to encourage you to download my free ebook, The CEO Shift. Empower your leaders to think like entrepreneurs and lead with the energy and grit of a business owner. Inside, I'll walk you through how to elevate your leadership, how to drive alignment, and how to build a high-performance team that truly owns the mission. If you're not quite ready for that yet, that's cool. Then let me send you a signed copy of my book, Freedom to Experiment. It's all about reigniting energy for yourself and your team, sharpening focus, and building momentum that lasts. I'll cover the cost of the book. All I ask is that you just handle shipping. Hit the link in the description, and we'll take care of the rest. If this message today hit home, here's how you can help others find it too. First of all, give this video a like and drop a comment below related to your business. And of course, subscribe, because every week I'm sharing strategies and tactics to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. I'll talk to you in the next video.